Yo, it's your boy, Thrax.
Jesus.
Yo, it's the Neon Nightcast podcast. Like always, I'm joined with Garrett Zagri and Eric the Dr. Soybean.
Thank you, or as I like to call you, the captain to my Tennille.
Hopefully from the title of this episode and my hilarious intro, we're going to talk about stoner movies, stoner comedies, I guess, because do they make stoner
think there's such a thing
horror?
as like a drama stoner movie.
A stoner action movie?
By definition, they have to be comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I thought it'd be maybe an interesting a topic. We all have various relationships with marijuana and drug use. Garrett,
well, I guess
Garrett's the midway. I'm the no way, kind of, and Eric's
Eric's
was
a
the
don't
stoner.
say that. Don't say that.
I said
Our
he was a
experiences-
stoner.
Okay, yeah, good. We should clarify. I used to be a massive stoner, but I haven't smoked in probably close to 3 years.
Eric was one of those guys, like, he had like a bandana in his back pocket that had like marijuana leaves. His walls were covered in like psychedelic posters.
Well, that was true. Yeah.
He had the belt buckle that had 420 on it.
Yeah, it was like a marijuana leaf, and he was just always like, man.
420, man!
I once got stuck in a revolving door and had to smoke my way out.
Sure.
All right.
So yeah, let's talk a little stoner movies. Let's talk a little bit about one that I think we've all seen, The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
Yep.
Now,
All seen it. Good old Jeff Bridges and John Goodman.
And good
Do
old
they-
Coen brothers, man. I love those
That's
guys.
true.
do
Yeah.
they smoke the marijuana in that movie? Or is it just a stoner movie?
It's been a while.
You know
What?
what? Yeah, like I don't.
Like, why was it on the list of stoner comedies?
Well, because the dude is kind of like a stoner type character, but I honestly can't remember if he smokes weed or not.
He drinks a lot of white
it's like
Russians.
he's always it's like he's always high, but I don't think you ever see him smoke weed. So
'Cause I'm the dude, man. I'm
And
the
it's-
dude.
And it's, I guess, like, of all the movies that we brought up that are stoner movies, like we said, they are all comedies, but it's probably the one that comes the closest to, well, I shouldn't say comes the closest, like, it's not just a comedy, it does actually have a story.
So
let's call it
he just wants to get his rug fixed.
But you could almost call
It's a
it
movie
like
about
a
nothing.
crime movie in a way.
It's a movie about nothing. Nothing leads to anything. It's just a fucking weirdo movie. There's 1 year at the summer camp. I always bring this up, but whatever. So we were doing a staff rec, and Big Lebowski won. And it was the first time I saw it, and instantly I was just like, wow, this movie's fucking great. And there was this one girl who, she was a big stick in the mud for everything. She was like, I'm not watching this. I'm going to sit in the room with everyone, and I'm going to watch Harry Potter on my laptop. Because that's a good movie. That's what should have won. And it was just
Harry
like...
Potter has references to the occult. It is not a good movie. Jesus would not approve of you watching that.
But it was kind of like, just like, okay, like you'd either sit there and watch this movie that you would have never really watched on your own, that's amazing, or you could just watch Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Butthole for like the 10th millionth time in your life. Like,
yeah,
come
why do you
on.
gotta be like that?
And she's just like, this isn't even a funny movie. Shut up. No, she's a great girl. She's a friend of mine, but like, holy shit, that was triggering. That movie's great. Like what you said, like, it's about nothing. Nothing happens, kinda. Except for
Well,
at the
stuff
end.
happens, but
And doesn't lead anywhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
They just end up bowling at the end.
Yeah, you think it's going to be some crazy adventure, but then it's just kind of like not a crazy adventure.
I guess you could compare it to Seinfeld in that sense.
It is Seinfeld-esquian.
Eskian. Just say Seinfeld-esque.
Yeah. Esquian doesn't mean anything.
It does on the Neon Nightcast podcast, coming at you every Thursday, live.
In your face from outer space.
It's not live.
I need
We're
an
out
air
from outer
horn.
space, though.
I need an air horn. So what, you guys have things to say about The Big Lebowski?
Well, I actually like White Russians, but I almost never order one now because anytime I do, anybody who I'm with or within earshot goes, "The dude."
Oh, the dude, man.
What's in a White Russian?
Milk,
Kahlua,
eggs,
vodka,
drugs.
and cream.
Oh, that's right. He makes it quite often on the movie. I forgot.
I
That
think
sounds
it's
nice.
Yeah, it's
It is. It's a
amazing.
nice, smooth drink, not tasting. See, I don't like drinks that I don't want to actually really taste alcohol.
That's why you always get something with vodka, and you're good to go.
It's masked so easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Rye and ginger ale. Let's go.
Rye?
Like Canadian Club, yeah. I was going to say Canada Dry. It's a whiskey,
Canadians have
right?
weird- Oh, okay.
Rye's whiskey.
Yeah, it's a type of whiskey. I don't know what the
Yeah.
difference is between I
enough-
actually like
Enough booze talk. Can we talk about marijuana? God's green gift to mankind.
Well, I'll tell you what used to annoy me about even when I was a stoner. What used to annoy me, even back then, I was annoyed by people who acted like it was like God's gift to the universe. It's like, even back then, I was like, you know what? I smoke it, I get high, I enjoy it, but stop acting like it's your connection to fucking Yahweh or something.
Well, I know for me, one of the main reasons why I never smoked it was like people thought they were like traveled and like worldly because it was like, oh,
They get real pretentious.
yeah, like
Yeah.
like what do you know, Mike? Like I buy drugs from someone and then I smoke them. Like I've experienced things, and it's like, first of
one
all,
of my friends,
you're not going downtown and like, you know, buying drugs off of like of a sketchy guy. No, you're buying a fucking drugs off of the kid in your math class, and then like you're just smoking weed in your basement. Like, how does that make you worldly?
Well, one of my friends in high school, like, I was smoking a cigarette with him one time. And yeah. Like,
That hurt. Go on.
dude, I only smoked like 3 cigarettes in my life. But anyway, I was smoking a cigarette with him, and I would guess I was holding it like you would a joint. And he's like, dude, don't you ever fucking hold a cigarette like that. That's your
What?
fucking joint.
What?
like-
What is this problem?
That's what I thought. I was like,
He was like
is it-
offended.
Yeah. I was like, is it really that big of a deal? He's like, yeah, dude. You don't ever hold a cigarette like that. It's only for joints.
Oh, shut up, Hank Hill.
What a tool.
All right, whatever, I guess.
You're holding
it like a
Frenchman.
No, Hanks was, you're holding that cigarette like some kind of a European Nazi in a movie.
Nazi in a
But,
movie, right?
You know, I'll tell you like the funniest story that I had that illustrates how fucking stupid you can be when you're stoned. Me and this friend of mine, who I used to constantly blaze with, we smoked and we got thirsty as hell. He didn't have anything to drink, so we walked to the convenience store at the end of his street. And he likes Diet Pepsi. I can't stand Diet Soda.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So he's
It's
like,
great. That taste of aspartame or whatever sweetener
it's
they
so
put in it.
chemically
So
and
awful.
metallic.
It's so awful.
So he's like, all right, we'll buy separate cases then. I'll buy a case of Diet Pepsi and you buy a case of Coke. So he goes in, he buys his case of Diet Pepsi really fast, and I didn't notice that he'd paid for it. I grab my case of Coke and walk up to the counter to pay for it, and he didn't realize that I hadn't paid for it. So he walks out of the store, and he's standing in front of the store with a what the fuck look on his face staring at me because he doesn't realize why I'm not following him. And I'm staring back at him with a what the fuck look on my face because I don't understand why he just walked out of this store without paying. So we literally stand there staring at each other for 3 minutes till he walks in and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck are you doing?" So then we realized what had happened, and we're dying laughing while the minimum wage overworked clerk is staring at us like we're a couple of fucking lunatics.
I can just picture like the like mouthing like, "What the fuck, man? Like, get out here!" Well, you're fucking stealing. Anyways, another one of my favorite stoner movies is Harold and Kumar 1 and 2.
They escaped from Guantanamo Bay.
Now, the first one is significantly bigger, better, and uncut than the second one. I never saw the Christmas special, the third one, but the first one is fucking amazing. I used to watch that thing on repeat, man.
What did you like about it? Because I've never seen those movies.
You never saw Harold and Kumar?
No, it just, I don't know. It never piqued my interest.
It was just never one of those. Yeah, it was never one of those shows that's like, oh, I need to watch this.
Oh my god. You both need to go watch that movie after this podcast. I can't talk about it if you haven't seen it.
Well, sure you can.
No.
Talk about it, Mike.
It's basically they get stoned and they want to go to White Castle, and then everything goes wrong, and there's just like a bunch of different sections where they meet some random weirdo. And
it's kind of like a travel movie.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's fucking hilarious. You need to go watch it. Why don't you bring up a movie then?
All right. Well, I'll bring up Grandma's Boy, which I know you've seen.
The classic, Eric. I'm old, and this is the only movie I like.
That movie's not that old.
I know, but it's a joke.
I think it's newer than Harold and Kumar.
No, it's not. Absolutely not.
It's newer than the first Harold and Kumar. Nope. I'm pretty sure.
Harold and Kumar, 2004.
Grandma's Boy, 2006.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fucked on that one, Mike.
I thought Grandma's Boy was like old as shit.
So it's basically a movie about a 35-year-old video game tester who his roommate spends all of their rent money on hookers, so he has to move in with his grandmother and her two old lady roommates.
How can hookers cost that much?
Well, it depends on how high class the hookers are.
I guess, but like you go, like, people go into debt for real serious reasons, but this person goes into debt and has to move back in with his parents because of fucking Filipino hookers.
Yeah, he probably just couldn't like pay rent for like 2 months and got kicked out.
So it's basically just like a hijinks movie. Like, he has wacky interactions with his grandmother and her roommates and with the weirdos that he works with. And then the main plot of the movie is there's a guy who works for the company, JP, who's like a child prodigy because when he was a teenager, he made a really successful video game. And then the main character of the movie, Alex, he makes a video game and JP tries to steal it from him. And that's where I guess like the main drama of the movie comes from.
I remember... Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say... I remember expecting more to do with the grandmas, but then they're like barely a thing in that movie.
Not really, no. I would say they're pretty significant.
You know, I only saw it once, so who am I?
Well, that was like, you know, you said you used to watch Harold and Kumar like on repeat. That's how I used to watch this movie, so I know it very, very well. JP is probably the funniest part of the movie because he's like supposed to be this weirdo.
Sit on my face.
Yeah, he talks like a robot, and he's like obsessed with the Matrix. And
who wasn't obsessed with the Matrix?
So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I wasn't obsessed with the Matrix.
Well, you're too young.
I wasn't either.
You were too old.
I didn't watch the Matrix until like 2 years ago.
Did you hear Mike's answers, though? Like, we both said we weren't obsessed with the Matrix. And you said it. He's like, you're too young. And I said it. You were too old.
You guys didn't get it.
You were like the perfect
Yeah,
age
it
to
was
be
made.
Matrix
It was
obsessed.
made for my generation.
Mike believes he was probably born in the perfect generation.
Perfect time. Yeah.
I was, because
I was born too early. You were born too late. He was born at exactly the right time.
that's the whole structure of this show. Is I'm the middle guy. I enjoy both the new and the old.
The old
you.
needs to die.
You know, you're the grump, Garrett's the not so grump, and I'm the no emotion, I guess.
No, I'm the Gen Xer. Garrett's the millennial, and you're the.
I think he's making
that
a
doesn't
Game
make
Grumps
sense.
reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Grump. You know?
I fucked it up, anyways.
Yeah. God damn it, Eric.
Garrett,
Garrett,
what's
would
your
be a millennial?
what's-
You'd be Gen Z. No, I fucked it up.
I'm a
Never mind.
millennial. I'm a millennial.
Technically, we're all millennials, even me.
Yeah,
so.
we all are. But
We're all children of God. Garrett, what's a stone movie you want to talk about, my friend?
one of the first ones that I remember, because I was born in a very conservative family, and we were only allowed to watch Scooby-Doo and
Scooby-Doo,
Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
So that was all I ever knew. So one of the first ones I watched was Pineapple Express.
Oh, that one's amazing.
Yes.
I have seen that, but I was barely paying attention. It was like that type of thing.
Because
So it has
baked, man.
It's Seth Rogen and James Franco doing what they do best, a stoner movie.
Being Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna come
honestly.
right out and say it. I don't like Seth Rogen.
Really? Why?
I think Seth Rogen.
I just
is
don't
funny.
think he's funny.
I think he's funny.
I think he's hilarious.
I also love when the Oni boys make fun of him, though.
Oh yeah. Like
What do
they do his voice.
They'll
so
just
well.
they'll do his laugh. They'll just go like, I can't even do it.
I can't, yeah,
I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it either. But they do it really well. Like
There's one time he was doing it to like Jingle Bells, and like his face was popping up on the screen.
yeah.
I like Seth Rogen because Seth Rogen just like James Franco can act, where Seth Rogen is just always Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen knows how to write, produce, and direct.
Well, I like that. I agree with that joke they made about him on Family Guy when Peter gets the Seth Rogen injection and turns into him, and he's like, "Hey Doc, how much longer is it going to take? I gotta get some beers with the boys before my date." And the doctor's like, "Huh, so chubby and funny. I'm rooting for you."
Yeah.
You could say that. What's that? The fat kid from Superbad,
Oh,
Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill. You could also say the same thing about him, fat and funny.
Jonah Hill.
He's in Grandma's Boy, actually.
Yeah, he
Oh, really?
plays one of the grandmas.
But I guess anyway, Pineapple Express is
It's
about
amazing.
this drug dealer who has this special rare brand of weed called Pineapple Express, and he sees a cop. He sees a cop just murder someone in the middle of the street, not in the middle of the street, but in an alley, I guess.
Yeah.
And he drops his roach, which has this special strain, very rare, Pineapple Express. So the cop finds it and track him down, and basically there's like a gunfight in this movie, and there's that one Asian guy, I can't remember his name.
Oh, isn't it
Chan.
Ken Jeong?
Yeah.
Bobby Lee, I think.
Is it Bobby Lee?
Yeah, it's Bobby Lee.
Okay.
And he shows up.
Oh
And-
yeah, I'm thinking of The Hangover. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's just a pretty funny movie all around. They eventually just die in a glorious shootout with Bobby Lee.
I love at the end where Danny McBride
oh,
like
yeah.
ends up joining them, And so at the end of the movie, they're all super baked because the farmhouse burns down, filled with marijuana. And they go get breakfast. And he's literally just like, they're so baked that, like, he can't die. Because he's like, yeah, I'm, like, bleeding out. We should probably get help. I love shit like that. That's so funny.
That's actually like, there was that episode of American Dad with what that was all about weed. And Stan and Roger were trapped in same thing, like the burning barn of weed, and they got super fucked. And Stan didn't realize it because of, he's like so like conservative and everything. So then like they're rocking out to like Night Ranger in the car, and he's like, wait a minute, who sings this? Roger's like, Night Ranger, man. Stan's like, Night Ranger. He like pulls out this list. It's like how to tell if you're high, and it's like, life seems pretty good. You genuinely enjoy Night Ranger. Yeah. And that's when he realizes don't.
So good. It's so good.
Who's your favorite character from American Dad?
So Roger.
Roger, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's favorite character is Roger.
Like, how did he make Stewie and Roger so great?
I don't know. It's like sometimes you want to kill them, but you still like them.
Well, they both went through a lot of changes, actually. Stewie went from being like, what the deuce, to like, just like a kind of a normal kid with...
Yeah, I feel like Roger's more consistent, though.
Well, he's not an evil genius anymore. Where Roger went from being like, not allowed in leaving the house at all to like, he's had like... lives and shit.
Who ate all the pecan sandies?
Yeah, that's old Roger.
Yeah.
So they've had a lot of room to grow as characters.
Just like weed needs a lot of room to grow.
Not true. It actually can
Mike,
grow
shut up.
in very compact areas.
What's your next fucking movie, Mike?
I don't even know if that's true.
I don't know, but you want weed that's way dank and sweet from the earth.
When you want weed, it has to be dank. Like, the first question you ask is like, how dank is this?
Yeah, weed is ranked by dankness.
Yeah, scale from 1 to dank. How dank is this dank?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I want to tell another...
420 or is it a dank?
Like, when else are we ever gonna bring this up? So obviously, when I was still in high school and living at home and smoking weed, I didn't want like anyone in my family, Mike included, to know I was high. But there was one time when I thought for sure he must have known, because like I decided I was like stoned and munching out. So I was like, "Hey, do you want to split like a frozen pizza?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So I cook it. And I'm taking it out of the oven, and I was so uncoordinated from being high, I kept like I almost dropped it like 3 times, and then I couldn't get it off the oven rack, and I was dying laughing the whole time, and I thought for sure he would have known, but I asked him about it years later, and you were like, "Nah, man, I just thought you thought it was funny."
Yeah, I just figured you were like having a good time and shit. Like back I was too young or too naive, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. Oh, see, this isn't a good movie. This was a movie that everyone laughed at. Everyone said it was the funniest movie of all time. I watched it later, and it was garbage. Dude, Where's My Car?
Never saw it. Always thought it looked stupid.
Same. Never seen it.
None of us have seen any of these. Well, it's the same kind of movie. Guys get stoned and they go on an adventure. And the only part I laughed was they go for some reason they go into a drive-thru for Chinese food. And he like orders something. And the woman goes, "And then?" And he's like, "That's it." And she's like, "And then?" And like she just keeps getting like more more and more obnoxious, and he's just like, "That's all we want." But like it ends with like a space alien, like God King, like coming down to Earth, and like they stop it with like their like it basically it's like the adventure starts because they don't know where they park their car, and then it like turns to the most outrageous like storyline of like I don't know, it was not that funny though. I watched it at a time where there wasn't a lot of shit on Canadian Netflix, and it was just like the only thing that like
somewhat looked good.
Yeah.
Man, y'all's Netflix must really suck.
Well, it's good now, but
when it started, they apparently didn't have like hardly any rights, but apparently it's gotten a lot better. So I guess we should bring up another horrible movie, Biodome. You've seen it, right, Mike?
Sure. I've seen the Nostalgia Critics review on it.
Okay. They actually showed us that movie in science class in grade 9.
What was the point?
Because I guess it is technically about like science-related things. It's about these two... I know. It's about these two absolute idiots who are played by Stephen Baldwin and Pauly Shore, who like come across this experiment where a bunch of scientists are locking themselves in like this self-contained dome to like, I don't know, study how plants grow in there for a year. And they're just complete idiots and they fuck everything up. The movie's not funny.
No.
The only thing that made me laugh is when they first drive by the Biodome. The one guy's like, Biodome? Does that mean it goes both ways? And the other guy's like, I don't know, but we do. And then they like fake make out with each other like,
That's funny. They're just dudes, man.
I don't know. It was so ridiculous and stupid. That part actually made me laugh. But other than that, it was just like, look at these two idiots.
That's like, I remember when I was in high school, every class they would show Forrest Gump. Because everyone was like, that's the most important movie ever made. It's a good movie. But it was like, it has the president in it, so we'll watch it for like...
history class or something.
Yeah, and like I saw it in English and history and like math.
You know what? Again, I'm going to be controversial. I don't think that's a bad movie, but I don't like that movie. I just don't.
Is it because he's special, Eric?
Yeah, I don't like those kind of people.
Now,
no, that's a terrible thing to say. I'm joking, obviously, audience. But
now,
Jesus.
Now the movie. Sorry, what are you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I just don't really like it. Like, I thought the whole premise of it was just silly. That like this guy is like involved in like every significant event, and yeah, I get it's a fucking movie, but I just thought it was silly and stupid, and also I thought Jenny was a total piece of shit.
So my theory, a theory that I always had with the movie, is that Forrest actually wasn't the father. And that she was dying, and she was like, I know that Forrest is a good man. He's a dumb man, but he's a good rich man. And if I just come in and say, this is his kid, he will take care of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it by that piece of shit.
I don't think it's his kid at all.
Well, interesting theory. But we kind of got how do we get from Biodome to Forrest Gump?
Watching it in school.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't Biodome. I remember, like I said, I saw the nerd review it, and I was just kind of like, I don't need to see it. He always
Nostalgia critic.
Yeah, sorry. What did I say, the nerd?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really...
Nerd.
The critic does a good review on movies.
I think it's fair to call the critic a nerd.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
It's basically the same fucking thing, but... What do I know?
Not much.
A bad credit card?
You always bring that up.
What's the quote from his Let's Play that failed?
Oh,
Die. Like, whatever.
oh, when he's just like freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, die. They're like, you know what? We're being a little harsh on him. Let's actually listen to his commentary. He's just like die, and they're okay. They're like, okay, yeah, you were saying.
So I don't know if you know, but one time the Nostalgia Critic was like, I'm gonna do Let's Plays. So he did a Let's Play of like Bart's Nightmare, but you can fully tell that like, okay, so first he was trying to make it seem like he never played the game before, but it was like so clear that he had played the game before.
And yeah, and second of all, it was just like the most manufactured rage.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst Let's Plays I've ever seen. And wisely, he chose to stop doing Let's Plays after that one because, yeah, he realized he just can't do it.
Why would you lie about playing a game?
I don't know, but he decided to do it.
That makes no sense.
Because, okay, like the big thing for me, it's like there's like a weird health system in that game where there'll be like, because you're in a dream, there'll be like little Zeds that go around the screen. And you can
For
make
American listeners, those are Z's.
you can make it your health bar bigger by like jumping and hitting like two, so they're like more far apart, and then you can fill it up with more Zeds. And he was like explaining this, and I'm like, I'd play that game as a kid so much, and I never figured out that's how it worked. And he's just coming out saying that's how it worked, but then he's like all surprised about things happening like it's the first time he's seen it.
Yeah.
So
no,
it's
it's
like,
terrible.
Come on. Just play it like a normal human being. You don't have to be a character. But we're off topic. Someone talk about a movie.
I can bring up This Is the End,
There you
another
go.
Seth Rogen, James Franco movie.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
that was better. This movie is actually really hilarious. I genuinely enjoy watching this movie. Oh, I think it's great. So basically, it's got all these comedians that are together in, I think, Seth Rogen's house. And it's the
Go to
apocalypse.
James Franco's house, and he's
It
like
might
a
be James
douchebag.
Franco's. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so an earthquake happens and the apocalypse happens and everyone's dying. And so they're just trying, I guess, to survive.
Yeah.
And towards the end, there's this hilarious moment where like they're trying to get, I think, inside James Franco's car, but it's like being guarded by a demon or something like that. So one of the actors, Craig Robinson, Mike, you'll know him as
Daryl from The Office.
Yes.
or he's also on Brooklyn Nine-Nine as the Cadillac Bandit. Anyway, so he goes and he's like, all right, I'll sacrifice myself so you guys can get out. And whenever the plan succeeds, he's raptured into heaven. So the others are like, oh God, you can go into heaven if you just be selfless. So then like James Franco is about to, like, he sacrifices himself and he's like getting raptured into heaven, and then he flips everyone off and the beam vanishes and he's like thrown back on the ground and shit.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
It is. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but it was one of those ones where I was late to seeing it, and everyone had already like overhyped it. So I was like, it's not the best movie, but it's a good movie.
It's my favorite stoner movie.
Interesting.
Well, I don't watch a lot of stoner movies,
Yeah.
so
None of us do, I think.
Well, clearly from this podcast.
we keep doing these podcasts over stuff. It's just like we're not that confident on.
Not that fluent in it.
We should
Well, we have good
Probably.
dialogue anyways.
we should probably invest more time into thinking of topics.
Topex, as we call them here on the
No,
Neon Nightcast.
we call them topics, not topex.
Topex.
No, topics.
I don't know, like, the whole... One thing that I think a lot of stoner movies do happens to them is they do get overhyped. Because
By stoners.
Yeah, but people that are into that culture are all like...
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen, man.
Like, he smoked that doobie when his dog shitted out, man. Like, it's like it's not that funny. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I almost had a laughing fit just now with what you just said, Mike. That's how funny it was.
Like, I don't know. I just, like, because I remember, like, watching Cheech Ching Chong at, like, a girlfriend's house and just, like, passing out. Just, like, it's so boring. It's not that funny.
And it's like the most typical, like, well, I guess give them props because they were probably the first people to do it. But when you look back at it now, it's like the most typical, like they're in a car and they're parked and they're so stoned. They're like, man, we're really fucking flying down this highway, man. But it's like they're not moving at all.
He just, like, looks at him and he's like, we're not even moving, man. I don't remember how it goes. Yeah, it's just stupid. It's just like, or like I remember like they're like, this is the funniest part, Mike, and he's like, give me some aspirin, and he like pops a pill, and he's like, you just took the most LSD I've ever seen in my life, and like people are like laughing and shit, and it's like, it's really not that funny. Like it's just not.
The only thing that I really found funny that they did was, I don't think it was even from the movie. I think it was just one of their old comedy albums. But it's the whole thing where like the one guy goes out to buy weed and he comes back home and his roommate's like really stoned. And the guy's like, open up, man. You got to let me in. There's cops out here. And the guy's like, who is it, man? It's Dave, man. Open the door. Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man. Cheating John.
But that one was kind of like so stupid it was funny.
And like, okay, like I remember they introduced one of Ching and Chong or whatever the fuck their names are.
Cheech and Chong.
Jesus.
Into that 70s show. And
I was just about to bring up that 70s show. It's like the stoner TV show.
Yeah, we could talk about that for the last little bit, but everyone's like, oh, he's so funny, man. He's a legend. And like literally he was like the most laziest written character. It was just like, yeah, he's always spacey because he's always high. He's like
perma-fried.
Yeah, he's perma-fried. And it's just like, he's like holding a piece of cake and he's like, where'd my cake go? And then Hyde's like, hey dude, you're holding it. And he's like, oh, and like the audience laughs and my friends laugh and it's just like, that's not funny. That's not funny.
So I guess that's...
I'm sorry, I had to mute my mic. I was laughing so hard.
Oh my god, dude. Is
that
Garrett a stoner?
So I guess that 70s show, along with our topic last week, Trailer Park Boys, are like the two biggest stoner shows. Trailer Park Boys is, now that I think about it, it's probably the funniest single thing that you could consider a stoner comedy. But watch last week's episode if you want to hear us talk about that. But I mean, that 70s show, that was a pretty good show too. I mean, you guys both like that, right?
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of it.
Up until the last season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Randy.
quick side story. I remember when I was really young, I was really anti-drugs, and I remember I really liked the show, and I always had to like convince myself that they weren't actually smoking weed. And that, like, when they were in, like, the circle with the smoke, like, it was just, like, they were burning incense and stuff.
It bothered you that much?
Yeah. I used to be so... Honestly, I have no idea why I was so anti-drug. And, like, and for my entire life, like, every girl I've ever dated has been, like, some huge druggie and shit. And, like... I didn't like drugs. I've never done drugs, but like all my friends, everyone in my life always did drugs. And like the whole that 70s show thing, that was way before I knew even seen drugs, but like I don't know, like only in the past 4 years have I actually been able to like separate myself from being around drugs, even though I've never done drugs. And surprise, surprise, I live alone. That's why. It's just such a weird thing. But yeah, I don't know, like just I don't know, I was a weird kid, I guess.
Yeah, you were.
So
Right, Eric.
who was your favorite 70ette?
I don't know, honestly. What's his name? Hyde? Was that his name?
Yeah.
I think I liked Hyde for the most part. I think he was my favorite until he like dated Jackie.
Yeah.
I didn't like him when he dated Jackie.
See, Hyde could be funny, but he was also one of the characters that, like, sometimes I thought he was, like, such a fucking asshole that I just wanted to punch him.
Yeah, he was, definitely, I would say.
When would he be an asshole that you would want to punch him?
The thing that comes to my mind is, like, he went on this big rant one time to Foreman about how, like, he should have been dating Donna instead of him. And it's like, first of all, it's like Donna's choice. Second of all, like, what a dick thing to say to your, like, supposed best friend. Like, I don't know.
Best
it just
friend
really
where his dad took him under his house.
Yeah, it really just rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, wow, this guy's a fucking asshole.
I do like Hyde. I like Michael. I think Eric is overall my favorite, or Red. But the one character...
Red, I forgot about Red.
The one character I can't stand, and she's a horrible actress. She's not funny in the show. Donna. Like, I can't stand her. She takes...
Donna kind of annoys me, too.
She's so awful. I've never liked her. I don't know why. I just think like all her lines are so forced, and that's a show where a lot of lines are forced because it's completely a laugh track. But with,
you know what?
What?
Sorry, go on.
No. What was I gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say one of the only other things I've seen her in is there's this really obscure Canadian movie called Carla, which is actually it's like a true crime story about this Canadian couple who were serial killers, basically.
Yeah.
And she played Carla Homolka in that, and she was actually good in that role. But that was a role that basically required her to appear like caring and unfeeling, and she was good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could say almost the same thing about her role in Orange Is the New Black, because she's a main character in that show.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
My girlfriend at the time was like, I really want to watch this show. Just try and watch it with me and see if you like it. I watched like one episode with her, and I was like, I can't.
It's just like, you guys. So this reminds me of the South Park episode when the Terrence and Phillip, they're farting and everything, and then those two chicks come in and they start queefing, and all the guys get fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, whenever people say they don't like Orange is the New Black because it's like, I mean, you guys didn't say this, but because it's like an all-female show or something, just like, you guys fucking suck. Because it just reminds me.
That's not why I didn't like it, no.
Yeah, I know, but
the reason why I never watched is like I watch a lot of things already, and like everyone's always like, gotta watch this. Like, I've been meaning to watch Stranger Things for like
you need
years.
to, Eric. You should watch Stranger Things too. We should definitely.
You know what? You're like not even the first person to recommend me to that, because the people are always like, you love the 80s, man. You'll love that show. So I feel like I should at least check it out.
Yeah, I hear it's really good, and it looks like it's right up my alley. But it's just like, there's something about Netflix series that I just like. Every once in a while, I'll get in the mood, and I will just binge watch something. I watch whatever, but it's just hard for me to sit down and just watch it. I know I watch BoJack Horseman.
Oh yeah,
was that Netflix?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
BoJack's so good too.
BoJack is
Eric,
amazing.
you should watch BoJack also.
You should watch BoJack.
That's 2 easy podcast episodes if Eric watches those and Mike watches Stranger Things.
Too easy.
Because there's so much to talk about with BoJack and so much to talk about with Stranger Things.
Well, I will tell you one thing that bothered me about Orange is the New Black And to be fair, it's not the only show that I've seen do this, but it was particularly egregious in this show. I don't know why there are shows that try to make it so that their main character is completely... They make it seem like the main character, every single man, woman, and child on the face of the earth wants to fuck them.
Orange is the New Black, like... So the first couple seasons, I guess that blonde chick, Piper, is the main character, but after that... I wouldn't say she takes a backseat role, but she's not in the spotlight as often because there's a lot of shit going on with a lot of different characters.
I just don't like prison dramas. Like, I've seen them in the past, and I just like... It's just not something that just doesn't interest me.
That maybe is part of it too. I do actually love true crime, but stuff that actually is taking place within the prison I find less interesting. I like more like courtroom stuff, or like when the crime is actually happening and shit like that.
That's fair.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not shitting on anybody for liking it. I'm just saying I didn't. It was not my thing.
Yeah. Well, we got anything else, boys?
I think that wraps up this decent episode.
So take care out there and don't smoke anything that I wouldn't smoke.
Happy Thanksgiving for all of our Americans.
Yes.
Smoke up a fat Dubo and watch your favorite stoner flick, and then just think it's kind of all right.
You can munch out on turkey.
Dude, smoke out of the fucking turkey's bunghole.
I'm gonna try to
turkey.
Yeah, turn the turkey carcass into a bong. There you go.
Yeah. I just want to do it one more, Seth. No. No, I can't do it at all. I'm so bad. Okay, see you later.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.